It's gonna be. He's funny. He's funny. I think he's funny, and I think you'll think he's funny too. Make it nice and loud for Tom Meyer.
All right. Thank you, John. Thanks everyone for being out here tonight. You guys, when I was in college, all the party houses had these clever names that told you how the people who lived there like to party. For example, we had one called 17 Steps. It was 17 steps from the bar. That's where the drunks lived, right? We had one called the Kool-Aid Test. That's where all the acid heads lived, right? My house was called the Bakery, because we were not known for our pastries, okay? So, with that knowledge, I was kind of surprised at the shock that everyone had last week when they found a little baggie of cocaine at the White House. I mean, come on, right? Little baggie of cocaine at the White House full of rich, middle-aged men. Now, the FBI, the Secret Service, they decided they couldn't figure out whose cocaine that was. I don't necessarily believe that, but that's what they said. But everyone had their theories on whose cocaine it was. The obvious choice, of course, Hunter Biden, right? A known addict. I can tell you this. It was not Hunter Biden's cocaine. A cokehead would not remember where they parked their car last night, but they would not misplace their baggie of cocaine. Hunter Biden's in the back room doing lines on his laptop, you know. And he's like, not my cocaine, Dad. Now I'm so proud of you, son, you know. Not Hunter Biden's. The other person whose cocaine it was not was Ron DeSantis. I don't know if any of you guys have heard that guy talk, but he's so congested 24/7, no way he's doing cocaine, okay? Not my cocaine, all right? Certainly, it was not Donald Trump's cocaine. That mouth breather could not figure out how to do cocaine. This is my impersonation of Donald Trump doing cocaine. He first rolls up a top secret document, right, and shoves that in his nose. He's got the cocaine down. Here he goes. So stupid. I had some car trouble today. My Sprinter van broke down in the parking lot of the co-op. It was a sunny day. I parked it in the shade. Apparently that solar-powered battery charger that I installed wasn't working in the shade. No problem, I made it. Now, I know when I say Sprinter van, you guys immediately assume I moved here from California and I'm some kind of trust funder. That's not true. That is not true. I moved here from Oregon, okay? And I have to work hard for my money. I gotta call my parents at least once a week to keep the checks rolling. You guys, I've been living in Bozeman for 14 years now, and you could say that I am living the Bozeman dream. I have my own house. I've got a ski picket fence. I have an incredible family. You guys by my side, I have a beautiful Patagonia puffy coat, and I have two amazing Subarus in the garage. And there is nothing I like more than sitting on my front porch in my deluxe REI camping lounge chair with my golden doodle by my side, sipping on an ice cold Pamplemousse LaCroix while I listen to the laughter of the neighborhood children, Bridger, River, Madison, and little Bridger Jr. I had a birthday this week. I'm getting old, you guys. I'm in my 40s. In your 40s, it's that time you start looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, what is that, right? I've got this piece of loose skin under my chin. I do not like it. When I pose for photos, I try and stretch my neck so no one can see it. And I know it's only going to get worse. I know it because my dad has one too, only his hangs down like 3 more inches. He's got big ears with hair growing out of them. When the wind blows, my dad looks like a Cocker Spaniel. And that's going to be me. I know, thank you. I've got this beer belly. It won't go away. I exercise a lot. It won't go away. It's like the ghost of alcoholic past. Ebenezer. I was out buying some sunglasses the other day, and I picked up a pair of those aviator sunglasses, right? At my age, you start to think, I'm younger than people perceive me. I still feel like I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. I tried on these sunglasses and I'm looking myself in the mirror, that little mirror they have, and I'm like, damn, I look good, I look good in these sunglasses. I'm like Tom Cruise from the original Top Gun. I bought those sunglasses. I took them home. My kids took one look at me and they're like, Dad, you look like Joe Biden. You guys, I'm divorced, and when I tell people, thank you. When I tell people I'm divorced, the reaction I normally get is, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But don't feel sorry for me. You guys, being divorced is great. Now, I don't want to stand up here and tell you you shouldn't get married. For some people, marriage is a fantastic decision. For example, if you're the kind of person who absolutely never wants to have sex again, then marriage might just be for you. I used to ask my ex if she wanted to have sex, and she'd say, no, I have a headache this year. When I'd remind her she had a headache last year, she'd get really mad, and she'd say, Tom, all you ever think about is sex. But that wasn't true, you guys. I used to think about a cure for headaches all the time. I used to carry a condom around in my wallet just in case the opportunity ever came around for me to have a little fun on the side. Now, I never cheated on my ex, and I'm proud of that. But I did carry this condom around. I realized recently condoms expire after 5 years. So it's a good thing I never did cheat on my ex because her headache lasted twice that long. I had a vasectomy after the birth of my second child. That was over 11 and a half years ago. And it wasn't until recently when I started dating that I found out whether or not that procedure was successful. Yeah. You guys, I have been dating and I've got a new girlfriend. Thank you. And things are going great. I'm getting a phone call.
I know.
Things are going great. I'm in that stage of my relationship where everything is fresh and new and sexy. Things have been going perfectly. That is until recently. I was having a conversation with my girlfriend and I worked into that conversation a reference to the movie Star Wars. I could tell right away that reference went right over her head like a stormtrooper's blaster. She looked at me and she's like, Thomas, I hate Star Wars. Yeah. And then she said, honey, I'm sorry, I'm just not a Trekkie. She tried to make up for it after that by saying, honey, all that matters is that I'm Leia and you're my Luke. This is a true story, by the way. So now I'm dating my sister. Dating your sister is okay in some parts of the country, like Mississippi, Tennessee, even Utah, Alabama. But here in Montana, the practice is generally frowned upon, so you could say it's all relative. Have you guys ever noticed that when women are impersonating the men in their lives, they do this voice? And this voice is a mixture of words and sounds. I call it dumb man voice, and it sounds a little bit like this. And then he said, I don't know, I just got done. This is true. The other day, I overheard my new girlfriend using dumb man voice when impersonating me. And I went right up to her and I was like, hey, I don't sound like that. And that hurts my feelings. Gentlemen, do you know what she said to me? She looked at me and she goes, nee, 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 nee. Right? Thank you. You guys, I've got 2 daughters. I'm so lucky. I love them so much. But I will admit to you, there was a time in my life when I wished I had had a son. And I think that's normal. I think every dad wants a boy they can bond with over guy stuff and shape into a man. But that wasn't in the cards for me. However, I realized recently that I have the best of both worlds. You see, my oldest daughter is a teenager and she's gay. And recently, we were at the grocery store together and I was sneaking a peek at this beautiful young woman. And I looked over at my daughter and she was checking her out too. And in that moment, you guys, we bonded. And I realized my little girl is becoming a man. I was raised Catholic and I'm left-handed. Those 2 facts in my life did not serve me well when I was a kid. You see, I went to a Catholic school and the nuns at that Catholic school thought that being left-handed was the mark of the devil. And if Sister Gabriel ever saw me using my left hand, she'd come up behind me and whack me with a yardstick. That lesson really stuck with me because to this day, when I masturbate, I only use my right hand. And thank you for keeping me straight, Sister Gabriel. In the 2nd grade, I was getting a reach-around hand job from a priest. Sister Gabriel walked in and she snuck up behind that priest and she whacked him with a yardstick. And I was so grateful for her protection that day. But later I realized the only reason she did that was because the priest was left-handed. You guys, I used to smoke a lot of weed. I had to stop. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Willie Nelson told me, Tom, I think you might have a problem. Seth Rogen staged my intervention. So guys, I think I know a thing or two about stoners. And one thing I can tell you about stoners is they're great at building shit. Back when I smoked a lot of weed, I could build a pipe out of just about anything. I could make a pipe out of an apple, a zucchini, an aluminum can, of course. That shit was child's play, you guys. I liked to challenge myself. I did not like to share my weed, so I used to make pipes out of piles of dog shit. I know that sounds disgusting. I get that. But then I didn't have to share. Once I built a pipe out of an Evander Holyfield action figure. When you build a pipe out of an Evander Holyfield action figure, you gotta put the weed in Evander's left ear. You can't put it in his right ear because it'll fall out because Mike Tyson bit that one off. Let me tell you, that pipe packed a punch. One time I built one out of a Mike Tyson action figure, and that one knocked me the fuck out. I used to live in the Pacific Northwest, and I used to build a pipe out of a whole salmon. I'd flip the fish upside down and shove the weed into its butthole, and then suck out of its mouth. And then when I was super baked and I had the munchies, you guys, I had smoked salmon. That's my time tonight, guys. Thanks so much for being here.